Okay, so we're going to move on to addition in decimal places. So if you have a look here, we have got all of our place value here. So you've got our usual tens and ones here, but then if we go further, we've started to get tenths and hundredths. And here we have got our decimal place, splitting that up right in the middle. So if we were to write this in a column addition, we would go 4 and then 3 after the decimal place, because here we have got 4.3. And then with our 2, we've got 2.2. So let's move on to this here. So we have our calculation set out. So we're going to start from this side, just as we would with our usual column addition. So here we're going to start with our tenths. So we've got 3 add 2, and that is 5. Then we've got 4 add 2, which is 6. And here we've got our decimal place. So that is 6.5. Okay, so moving on to this one here. So this one's already been set out for us. So one tip that I would say is to write in your decimal place before you even start the calculation. So we'll put it here, and that's where it's going to sit when we do our calculation. This just means that you aren't going to forget to add in your decimal place at the end. It's also very useful when we move on to carrying numbers across. We'll move on to that a little bit later on. So again, we're going to start from this side here. So we've got 4 add 1, and that is 5. We've got 3 add 2, and that is 5. Then we've got 4 add 2, which is 6. So here we have got 6.55. Okay, so we need to write this one in ourselves. So the first thing that I would do is I would have a look at where my decimal place is, and I would write in my decimal place all the way down to the answer. Okay, so then I'm going to have a look at my first number. So these two numbers here, 8 and 4, are in front of my decimal place. So my tens is 8 and my ones are 4. And then after my decimal place, I've got 3 and 4. So I'm going to put that in there. And then again with the bottom number here, 5 and 2, and 2 and 1. So that was really easy. It was just like setting up a column addition, a normal one without any decimal places. So let's go on to the addition. So again, starting from this side, working our way across. 4 and 1, 5. 3 and 2, 5. 4 and 2 is 6. And 8 and 5 is 13. So here we need to move on to our hundreds column here for 13. Okay, so here we've got 136.55. Okay, so here we're going to set this out as we did before, decimal places here, 8 and 4 before the decimal place, and then 8 and 4 after the decimal place. Then got 1 and 2, sorry, and 5 and 4. So again, we're going to start from this side here. 4 add 4 is 8. And then we've got 8 add 5. So 8 add 5 is 13. So now we are going to need to carry over, and it's the exact same concept. We're going to put our ones here, then we're going to carry over our ones. Okay, so we're almost going to ignore that our decimal place is there because it's going to stay the same. So then we've got 4 add 2, and then adding the 1, so that's 6 add 1, and that's 7. Okay, so our decimal place hasn't changed even though we've carried it over. Then we've got 8 add 1, which is 9. So we've got 97.38.